And here we are once again, the day after Tax Day, 2010, and today we're at the Arizona Science Center to see what the folks have to say about, will technology help us, or is technology hurting us? I forgot to write down the name of the folks that are giving the talk today, but I'm sure the girl will introduce them for us, and we'll just show a little bit of the something here. And this is just the Arizona Science Center Museum that's set beside the theater that we go over and listen to these lectures once a month. So here we go once again at the Arizona Science Center for the continuing talks that happen once a month here. Thank you and enjoy.
Okay, good evening and welcome to Science Cafe, presented by the Center for Nanotechnology and Society at Arizona State University. My name is Jennifer Watkins and I'm tonight's cafe coordinator. CNS ASU is a research center funded by the National Science Foundation to study the societal, ethical, and environmental implications of nanotechnology research and development. As part of our mission, CNS ASU sponsors monthly science cafes in partnership with the Arizona Science Center. The cafes bring you, the public, together with university scholars to discuss how science and technology affect our lives. They are opportunities for you to not only learn from the people who produce and study science, but also for you to educate them by sharing your opinions, making comments, and voicing your concerns. Tonight's cafe is entitled Upgrading Ourselves: Can Technology Make Us Better? Our presenters are Dr. Hava Samelson and Dr. Brad Allenby. Dr. Hava Samelson is a professor of history, director of Jewish studies, and Irving and Miriam Lowe Professor of Modern Judaism at ASU. An author of 5 books and numerous articles and book chapters, she is the PI of a large grant for the Templeton Research Lectures on the Constructive Engagement of Religion and Science from 2006 to 2009. The grant was given to the project facing the challenges of transhumanism, religion, science, and technology, which has sponsored public lectures, workshops, faculty seminars, and 4 books. This is the most sustained analysis of the implications of transhumanism to contemporary culture, placing ASU at the forefront of global reflections on the interface of technology and culture. Dr. Brad Allenby is the founding chair of the Consortium for Emerging Technologies, Military Operations, and National Security, and founding director of the ASU Center for Earth Systems Engineering and Management, the Lincoln Professor of Engineering and Ethics, and a professor of Civil, Environmental, and Sustainable Engineering, and of Law at Arizona State University. He is the U.S. Naval Academy Stockdale Fellow, studying the ethical and social implications of emerging technology in military applications, and has been a Templeton Research Fellow looking at emerging technology, human enhancement, and sustainability issues. He has authored a number of articles and book chapters on industrial ecology and design for environment, and has taught courses on various aspects of earth systems engineering and management, industrial ecology, and design for environment, and has lectured widely on a number of topics. We will begin the evening by hearing from Dr. Allenby.
Awesome. All right, so let's begin, as the caterpillar said in Alice in Wonderland at the beginning. Alice in Wonderland may have a lot more to do with this than you think by the time we're through with this. When you're talking about transhumanism, it's important to differentiate right from the beginning 2 domains. The first domain is a cultural construct. That is, there are a number of people who take transhumanism and the implications of transhumanism and push it in various cultural directions according to their particular perspectives. The second is the technologies that are actually in play that are changing what it means to be human. I'll give you a couple of examples of those to give you a flavor for it, but basically you want to make sure you keep in mind the fact that these 2 different domains are separable but in tension throughout this entire topic. It's one of the things that makes it fascinating. It also makes it kind of difficult to cover in 5 or 10 minutes. So, how many people here have ever been vaccinated? Okay, you're transhuman, right? We used the technology, we injected a foreign body into your body in order to force it to change its immune system to respond to a pattern that we wish to impose on it. Vaccines are an incredibly effective, efficient technology that works almost all of the time with very little downside risk. The point there is that it's easy to get caught in this concept of designing the human and forget that in fact that has been part of the human adventure for a long, long time, and it's far more common than we think. That said, let me give you a couple of examples of what's coming down the pipe. All of these, by the way, should be regarded as scenarios because we don't know which ones are going to pan out and which ones are going to run into some kind of major roadblock. One example is radical life extension. There are a lot of biotechnologists who think that the first child to live to 150 with a high quality of life has already been born in the United States, that we'll be able to do that for people, at least in the elite, on a fairly routine basis in developed economies. Moreover, once I get you to 150, if you're, say, 5, 6, 7 now, I will probably be able to get you a lot further because the technology is going to continue to advance. So the implications are that there are some very significant step functions going to occur in life extension, and it's going to happen in the coming generation. There's a number of technologies which you can think of as direct brain-to-technology platforms. So, for example, the best way to think about this is the monkey that some of the experiments that were done at ASU, subsequently done at Duke, where you put a chip in a monkey. The chip wirelessly connects to a mechanical arm someplace in the next room, or they got tired of that, so they moved it up to MIT. And the monkey learns to use the arm as if the arm is simply another part of the monkey. The latest twist on this is they had a running robot in Japan. They had the robot running at Duke, or the monkey running at Duke. If you don't take anything else out of this, don't ever be a monkey at Duke. And so what they did was they stopped the running monkey at Duke. The monkey looked up, saw the running robot in Japan, and kept the robot running. So that's direct brain-to-technology. Why do you do it? Well, one reason you do it is obviously medical. If somebody has had a serious injury or been injured in the war, you want to be able to have them manipulate their environment. But the second, of course, is if I can do that, then I can also begin to wire you into major weapon systems. And I can project power without losing people. And because the American public tends to be allergic to the loss of individuals, that's a very important basic function driving the Defense Department right now. Finally, well, another example I should say is cognitive enhancement through pharma. I won't ask any of the students here because technically it's a violation of federal law, but there are a number of individuals at places like ASU that have taken Adderall, other drugs to help their performance during tests, during periods of difficult challenge. And it also occurs in some jobs, particularly in the military. You'll be required to cognitively enhance yourself with pharmaceuticals. They're developing much more powerful pharmaceuticals which are going to be coming down the pike. At least in campuses, this is completely uncontrolled. Most of their parents don't know that it's happening. It's a very interesting kind of phenomenon. And finally, I want to pose as an example the extension of cognition across technology systems. General Motors just announced an automobile which they hope eventually will be virtually capable of driving itself. That means what you've done is you've unloaded a lot of your cognitive functionality and you put it in the automobile. Why did you do that? You did that because you're General Motors and you want to keep selling cars to the baby boomers even as they get older and cognitively their functions may begin to slip. The way you do that is by taking cognition and building it into the car instead of relying on having it in the person. That's a very profound change in the way you think of cognition. So, okay, those are some examples. What are the general reactions to transhumanism? This is the 10-minute version of what could be a couple of courses. Actually, it's about a 2-minute version. So there's basically two positions. The first is a libertarian position. It's my body. I can do whatever I want with it. Period. Now, why does that fail? That fails because we don't live as individuals. We live in communities. If I'm, for example, a pre-med at a real pre-med powerhouse like Johns Hopkins, and 80% of the people around me are cognitively enhancing, I am likely to be at a significant disadvantage unless I cognitively enhance. Therefore, to argue that cognitive enhancement does not create pressures on those who might not otherwise choose to go that route is it's fallacious. So I think that's a weak argument. The other argument is that there is a yuck factor that will prevent people from enhancing because